Good afternoon, and here I am up at the viewpoint once again. And it's Tuesday the 25th of March 2025, and it's about 4:30. The temperature's about 11. And I'm just up here, and just up here to have a wee grumble. But first of all, I'm going to tell you how things are with me. I had my heart attack last year, yes, and the NHS came good. The cardiac department in the NHS is pretty cool. I have no complaints about it whatsoever. They probably saved my life. 3 stents put in. And 5 years ago, there was a complaint, because 5 years ago I had to go private to get my left hip replaced. And I did that. I got a hip replacement via the Ulster Clinic, and paid something around £9,000 or £10,000 to get that done. You say, well, why didn't you go through the NHS? Why didn't you go on the waiting list? The waiting list was between 4 and 5 years. And 4 and 5 years of pain. And now I have to get another hip replacement, this time in my right hip. Now, this is from someone who has paid their national insurance contributions. All my working life. The whole idea behind the national insurance contributions, this was backing up the welfare state. This was to provide, hospital care whenever needed. And you do get hospital care to a degree, but you come looking for an operation, and you come looking to get seen quickly at A&E, and you're in trouble. You are in big trouble. The waiting list for hip replacements today is still up on, the maximum is about 4 years. And if you want to be seen in A&E, you could be waiting there in an ambulance for hours on end, because I've sat in an ambulance with somebody for hours on end, maybe 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 hours, and then you're brought into the hospital, and you go through A&E, which is could be another 5 or 6 hours, 8, 9 hours, and then you might end up on a hospital trolley. Now, this is not what I signed up to whenever, this is not what we were led to believe all those years ago whenever I started off in my teaching career, and your national insurance contributions were just taken out. And so the various governments that have allowed the country to go down, and are allowing, they're not, the hospitals are not providing. The hospitals are not providing what you thought that they were going to provide, and under the welfare state, and therefore you've been ripped off. If you're told that you have to wait 4 or 5, 6 years for an operation, you are being, you're being embezzled. Your money has been taken, and they're not providing the service. And they can make all the excuses that they like, and this is wrong. And the government of the day, and the Conservatives and the Labour government and the Lib Dem governments, they're just all the same. They've been giving away taxpayers' money to fund wars. Starmer, he got into office there, and he recently gave away £1.5 billion of taxpayers' money. Now, normally I wouldn't support Sinn Fein too much, but Michelle O'Neill was actually the only one who stood up and said, you know, what about our hospitals? What about our broken infrastructure? What about our road system? What about our water system? What about the number of homeless people here? You know, would this money not have been better spent at home? And this isn't the first amount of money. You know, Labour has been giving money away hand over fist, and the Conservatives have been doing exactly the same thing. And this is wrong. And it's wrong that anybody should have to go private who's been paying their national insurance contributions over the years. It's wrong that you should be having to wait 4, 5, 6 years for an operation. And, you know, I'm going private because I can afford to go private. We stored up the money. Now, the taxes that we are feeling and having, you know, for the last 10 years, it's just gone up and up and up. You wonder where the government spends this money. What kind of governments do we have? This is totally wrong. And I'm only too glad to have the ability to pay for my operation. This time around it's going to be about £13,000 or £14,000. What about the poor souls who need a hip replacement and they can't afford it and are going to sit there waiting for the NHS to come good and give them you know, a life-saving, well, it's not a life-saving, but it's give them an operation that's going to make their lives so much more pleasant in their maybe their last 10 years of life. What is going on, folks? What kind of governments have we got that are allowing all of this to happen? What's the point of looking after people abroad when you can't even be bothered to look after the people at home? You tax them to the hilt and you won't give them the necessary operations. You won't provide the money. But you can provide the money and send it overseas to fund wars. Oh dear, grumble, grumble, grumble. So, I have an operation coming off in mid-May. I'm not able to walk very well, but at least I'm getting an operation and I can afford to pay for it. God help those people who can't. Talk soon.